Welcome, everybody, and welcome to this week's Spill the Tea conversations. Today, we're spilling the tea from Soshanguve South, where we just had our wellness services today, our health awareness day in Soshanguve. With me are some of the people that participated in the program today. And I would like to hear from yourselves, what has been your experiences? What challenges do you think are there? Your observations, and yeah, we'll also talk about the way forward. So can we share? Who wants to start? Yes,
Yeah, we had a very busy day. When it started, when the day started, it was a bit slow. It looked like there was no one coming through, but I think people were also not sure what is expected of them, and maybe we also didn't market ourselves very well. But the way the whole thing unraveled, it happened in a way that people came through. There were children coming, dancing, and that was nice. It was so beautiful, children of different age groups. And we also had patients coming through, different age groups, with different challenges. And for me as a nurse, it was an eye-opener in a way that there are some people in another part of this, of our society who really need someone to talk to, someone to listen to, that I feel and I think and I believe that the services of our resident social worker will come in handy, because people are suffering, like inside, silently, without actually coming through, telling what is their problem. When you see them laughing, they're sitting there, you think all is well, only to find that, when you're sitting with them behind closed doors, then you realize, oh, so there's some bigger challenges than what is on the surface. And even that some people, they take things lightly about their own health. For instance, like the COVID-19 thing, people are being so casual about it at Extension 6 where we are, because most of the people don't even wear masks. So for them, it's like it's not for them, it's something foreign, So they still need education on that. Even about the other chronic illnesses, people still need education on them, how to manage themselves. Yeah. But otherwise, all in all, it was a fruitful day today. It was a wonderful day, and I think it is the beginning of greater things to come. Yeah.
Maybe while you talk about the people not wearing masks, um, did you maybe as the sister talk to some of them and ask them what is the reason that they do not wear a mask?
Yeah, like I've already said, that people, like, I don't know whether it's call it ignorance, because what happens is they have got masks. I did ask when I asked them about the mask thing. Yes, they know they must wear masks. They have masks, but it's something that they don't. I don't know how to put it, but they just feel it's not for them. It's something that they are not used to, and they are not putting much effort actually to get used to it. So yeah, that's why I say reinforcement still needs to play a role.
Okay.
Yeah, if I can just say, I don't think it has to do with ignorance, but it actually has to do with people actually being uneducated on these things. And I think that's something important that I think what we're doing is going to help people, educating our people, because they don't really know the reason why they have to wear the mask. They feel like this is something that doesn't, relate to them. They think that it's other people's diseases. It's not something that, they could get. And, they don't know the reality of that. Like today, there was a lady in the line who was busy saying that, oh, she saw the pamphlet of autism. And she's like, yo, I should actually give this to my sister because her child is busy not speaking. And we were speaking about it with Mamhulu. He was saying that like Batwabantu, like we think that like, you know, bamuloile or something like that, when we don't know that this is an actual, you know, illness that people go through. And it's important to educate our people, like, first of all, like that. I think that's the most important thing about wellness and all of that. And in South Africa as a whole, there's a lack of wellness centers and, you know, healthcare altogether. So the more we're opening up, especially in areas such as Soshanguve, the more we're helping the people here in South Africa. So I think it was a great initiative, and we're starting something that's going to be absolutely great, and it's going to help everyone there. Yeah, I think today was overall such a good day, and I think that the dancing also helped us promote a lot, because then people were realizing that actually something's happening here. Obviously, we have our downfalls where like we didn't have any what do you call it, like promoting wise, we were kind of lacking, because there were no big signs. People didn't know. We didn't really know like what exactly was happening there. But those are things that come with time. But I think for today, just opening up, I think that we did an excellent job, and the turnout that we got, like with people not even knowing what's happening at all, I think was great. A lot of people saw what was happening today, and people were scared to come for the dancing and all of that. But if we're back each weekend consistently, I think it's going to get better and better with time. So yeah, it was a good day.
Okay. Anyone else, Mbali? Your thoughts?
Yes. You know what I picked up as we were standing in the street, trying to call people to come get screened and so forth, is that people thought that we are testing for COVID-19, for the coronavirus, and they literally, as soon as the dance class ended, because all of them were standing in the street watching, when the dance class ended, I started approaching people and saying, hi, you can come in, get screened. We're doing a couple of tests. They didn't even wait to hear what test. As soon as I said test, they ran away. They said, hey, I'm going to test you a corona. And I said, no, you know, we have other tests that we're doing, we're screening different things. And they said, hey, no, hey, okay, we'll come back, because they literally felt they don't want to be screened for, you know, COVID-19. So I think what I picked up is that people are afraid of getting tested for the virus, number one. But funny enough, they also have an attitude that it's not for them. It's not going to come to them. Someone literally said, oh, the statistics in Pretoria are up, but it must be in the suburbs. You know, this virus will never survive in our area. She literally said the virus won't survive in Soshanguve. So people are just not yet aware of what is going on around them. And I think they're just afraid. It's mainly just fear. But another thing, what I picked up, we still have a lot of work to do, especially with the younger children, when they came in for their dance lesson. When we had to sanitize their hands, and I realized they don't know the basics of washing their hands, how to wash their hands. You know, I had to literally tell them, okay, rub your hands together, brush on the outer side, rub your fingers together, you know, put the whatever, like sanitize between your fingers, rub your fingers together and so forth. So they don't know the basics of how to wash their hands. Most of them, their hands were dirty and dusty from playing outside anyway. And which of course is one of the basic things that they keep saying to us: wash your hands, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, 5 times a day, you know. So it's something that we take for granted, but it's one thing that I picked up to say, maybe it's one of the first things that we need to teach these children, not just to say, okay, come, let's sanitize you, let's dance. You know, to say, do they know how to wash their hands? Teach them, this is how you wash your hands. You know, we were taught when you wash your hands, you need to, in your head, sing the birthday song. That way it lasts long enough for your hands to have been clean enough, I think, which is the 20 seconds.
Yes.
So maybe it's things that we can incorporate to say, you know, for the younger ones, let's start them with the basic of wash your hands, and then we'll get to the rest of whatever else. But it was a fantastic day. I didn't expect, especially also the older people, you know, I thought maybe they wouldn't be so keen on being tested and so forth. So it was a great day, actually. And just seeing people, the children also were very nervous at first. They didn't know, can they come to us? Shouldn't they come to us? You know, what are they allowed to do or not allowed to do, especially because they didn't come with their parents. You know, but then once they became free and within their social distancing spaces and so forth, the class went very, very well. They had a lot of fun. The children loved it. And also I saw the people as they were coming out from the nurses station, you know, they actually were okay. They were happy. They were relieved. They had information that they needed. The pamphlets also that we were distributing at the meeting area, you know, had a lot of information: autism, diabetes, all kinds of information that actually, even about food, healthy eating, you know. So I think it was a very good day. It's a necessary service.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting. And I must also say that we noticed that towards the end, people were becoming more and more comfortable. And we saw more people coming even after we said we have closed, you know. And for that matter, I want to thank our sister, because she, you know, even though we were saying, but we closed, and she didn't even have a tea for the day, but she still said, no, let them come. So really that was very encouraging. And the people also appreciated it, you know. And we already know that there are people who indicated that, no, they're coming back next week. You know, because really they can see the value out of the service that we are rendering. And like Bokang has said, really on the first day to have that kind of a response when we didn't even market a lot, it's really encouraging. And there is more that it means we have to do, not only talking to the children, as you are indicating, basic hygiene of washing hands. We should also try and reach out to their parents, so that whatever lessons we give from the center, the parents can also practice that when they're at home, you know, and continue with those lessons to say to the children, wash your hands, and, you know, teach them the basic hygiene of, okay, maybe not sanitizing if there are no sanitizers, but just use of soap and water is very important. So one last thing I want to ask in terms of the dance, maybe we did not have a big group, because it's very, very important, you know, that we didn't have a big group, and they still had that social distancing or physical distancing, even though they were dancing. And I want to believe that it's also a lesson which they have learned, because you will recall that when they came, they all stood back to back, you know, very close to each other. But we taught them to say, no, you must keep a distance. And even when they were dancing, keep a distance, you know. So do you think that that's something that maybe they will be able to remember next time, or it was just an end in itself?
But with I think with the way they were so excited, my what I saw, the way the children were so excited, I think they're looking forward to coming back again next week, and looking forward to coming back. Remember, there were these things like they had to compete. There were some competitions that the dance teacher had to put in the whole thing. So at the end of it, the children still have that competing spirit. So I believe that next week they were going to come back, and they will come back in numbers, because remember, there were other children who were still standing around the walls, who actually were not sure whether they would be allowed to come, yes, no, because they didn't know what actually is happening. maybe those ones are special children that are have been selected. They are the selected ones or what. Maybe they thought maybe they were the chosen ones. Then next week, I believe they're all going to come in numbers now because they want to show each other off, you know, that we can. And as much as we're speaking about the dance, I think even with the older people, I want to believe that even for the clinic purposes, people are still going to come in numbers. As you have correctly said that when we were about to close, people were now starting to flock in because the ones that came in at first, they had to go out and by word of mouth. They went and spoke to the others by word of mouth, and then people started coming in and understanding. And the thing is, as like Palesa said, people were excited in a way that, you know, when they were inside the room now with me seated, they didn't actually want to go out because now they were feeling so relaxed, and now they wanted to go on and on. And I felt now this is where now the social worker must come in, because they must sit down with the social worker, you know, spill the tea with the social worker.
No, definitely. Yeah.
So I believe next week, from next week, it's gonna gain momentum.
But I think maybe with the children, in terms of remembering the basics that we're teaching them in terms of social distancing and washing their hands, maybe in the first place, we didn't tell them why we are doing it. We took it for granted that everybody knows that right now we're in an epidemic, and everybody knows you need to sanitize. And I think we literally took it that everybody knows. But now in retrospect, looking at the community, looking at the attitude around the virus and people thinking it's not for them, maybe they haven't even taught their children that it exists, that it's there. So maybe it might be, Hore, we need to first not educate them on it, but say to them, you know, do you know what this is? This is what's going on. Just in children, at basic children level, to say, it is important for you to know that you can't be next to each other. When you cough, cough into your elbow. The basic things that we see on TV, that we read up on, that we've been educating ourselves on, that we think are obvious, to them maybe are not so obvious. So maybe then in terms of will they remember it even after we're gone, if we teach them why we're separating them, then they'll remember. Unlike they just know we're separating them, but they don't know why we're separating them. Or they know that when they come, they will spray their hands. They don't know why we're spraying their hands. Maybe the first thing we should look at is, do they even know that coronavirus exists right now? Or they just know that they're not going to school. They don't know why. They're just sitting at home. You know, so maybe if we find a child-friendly way, introduce it to them without it now being our responsibility to have a lesson on it. Or we can have a lesson on it, a short lesson before the dance class. That's also not a problem. Then they'll actually have an understanding of why are they being separated, why are they doing that. They'll remember actually as time goes on.
And even go back home and teach their parents, you know.
And I'm getting excited, you know, as I'm listening to Palesa talking about this whole thing. You know, it's opening up some other ideas that we need to incorporate, I think, starting from next week. That I think maybe next week, what I think I'll do with her during the week, we'll have to do some basic things, just basic things that we'll start with, you know, like when we arrive there, those are the little basic things that we'll have to teach them, you know. Because anyway, remember, on one of the our duties is to do health education, isn't it? So it being part of us, we are going to do that. We'll have to start with that, and very basic, just to teach those children.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm getting excited about the whole thing.
Yes, no, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. I think also that today was a wonderful day. I can hear from all the feedback, even from my side. I'm really thankful and appreciative and very much motivated, you know, because of the way things went today. And the way forward, we've already indicated that the way forward is that we are there again next week. And we'll try even more to market our services. And We also, as we were in the area, we're talking to other people and encouraging them to say, come next week, we'll be having, these sessions, and also there will be dance sessions. So yeah, it's looking, the future looks very bright. We're very, very excited. All right, so our center is called Zwonaka Wellness Center. It is in Soshanguve South, Extension 6. And if you know of anyone who wants to join us, they can reach us at zwonaka@zwonakasolutions.co.za. You can also check us on Facebook and under Zwonaka, and you get some more details on that. That's all. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Till next time. Bye-bye. Bye.